Hello and welcome to the third episode of this mini-series about traders trading problems. Now, we all have trading problems because we are sensual beings. We feel first, we think later. A lot of people like to think that we're intellectual creatures, but intellect really comes after the experience, and the experience really gives us a feeling. So which means that we feel first what we went through, and then we try to understand how that all happened and try to fix it or find a way or do better and go into that kind of a search. So today we're going to take a look at the third thing, which is, let's get into it, and that is emotional anxiety. Okay, emotional control. How can we control our emotions when we're trading? Now, some people are just numb, okay, and good on them when they're trading, but some of us, a lot of people actually are not. We're emotional creatures, like I said, and some of us may be more emotional than others. Is there a way to fix it? There's a way to fix everything in life, and the way to fix it is bring about an understanding to what I'm going through and what that process is that is making me or causing me to go through those ups and downs. So there are a few things here, bullet points here, that are really important when trading. One is fear and greed, which you've probably all heard about. We're afraid to lose, and then we get greedy because we want to make more money, okay? And then we do over trading because we're scared or we're greedy. Both reasons apply to greed as well. And then that causes stress and anxiety because the market is moving very fast, especially if you're day trading. And because it's moving fast, it's causing us a grief because, you know, with the ups and downs, we're having ups and downs as well. But all of these things can be addressed with time and price. Now, if you haven't watched the first two videos, go ahead and watch them first because those two videos will bring you to this. If you want to reduce your anxiety and your emotional like stress, what you have to do is have obviously a plan, which worst case scenario, you should know what's going to happen. You should have a best case, a trade management mid case, and a worst case scenario in your trade management. The best way, in my personal opinion, in my humble opinion, this is the best way to do it, is to know time and price. Because technical analysis, as I've always said, and I've said it 1,000 times, I'll say it again, technical analysis will only work sometimes. It won't work all the time. This is why also at the Global Trade Club, we never go with one style of trading in technical analysis. I'm looking at the market through 4 or 5 different perspectives. When they collide, correlate, then I'm thinking, okay, great, that looks like a good price. What time is the market going to turn? And is it a swing day or not? Now, if I know if we're going to have a swing day, a swing hour in advance, okay, just like in the club members area, right? This is what we do in the members area. So let's just bring that up as well. So if I already know the swing days, this was last week, right? Watch the weekly wrap up as well, because I explained these there as well, what happened this week, every week. So I had the swing days. Now for next week, I've got swing days and swing hours as well. In fact, I've got the full month of April already posted on the 22nd of March. So if we traded gold down, because Thursday was a swing day, down, we were justified to do so. Why? Because it was a swing day on a Thursday, and on a Thursday, let's take a look, this is your Thursday, and we had a swing hour, and we had a price estimation between 3,150 and 3,174 based on the monthly PST level, which was 85 there. Now this 85 is an extreme level. This is why it doesn't have a price there. But in the next version we're going to have all the levels. So for that 85, I predicted we should have something around 3,150. And the market, this is Thursday, market on Thursday comes to a trading hour. Here's your trading hour. The vertical lines are the hours we're trading at, right? It's a swing day, it's a trading hour, and the market just plummets down. Okay, now this was an interesting zone because it was a PST price level and a weekly pivot there as well, and it was also a trading hour. So what happens? The market goes the other way, jumps up, right, which is good. It still didn't go above Thursday, and on Friday it kept falling. But if I sold on Thursday, these hours I want to be looking out for because they're trading hours. And if they come to a good price at a trading hour, the trade could go the other way. So I've got time, price, not just to enter a trade, but to manage the trade, to exit the trade, to re-enter if I want with an additional position, or close the trade and re-enter again at a later hour or a later day, like on Friday. And these are Friday trading hours. As you can see, markets selling off down here. US comes up at a trading hour, sells all the way down into 3014. Where did we get 3014 from? Let me get my head out the way, because that was a weekly level. 68.55, giving me a price of 3013.99. Let's round it up to 3014. All right, so that's where we got 3014 from. And it gets there right at the trading hour. So obviously you want to take profit and go out. But knowing that Thursday's a swing day is already telling me, listen, we've been long all this period and I've got a Thursday swing day and we're at a high. So you better get out of your long positions as well and start thinking about selling. If you're day trading or intraday trading, or like I said, a few days position trading, we don't do more than a few days. You can trade intraday, or you can open a position and keep it overnight if you want, with the trading days ahead of you. But in any case, knowing the swing days helps. Now, if I know the swing day, swing hour, and price, obviously, hopefully anyway, what should happen is my emotions should be under control. Why? Because I shouldn't be trading outside that framework. Okay? And if I do trade in that framework, I should know that I've got a stop loss and a target because of the PST levels. So if I know everything in advance, the day, the hour, the price, the target, okay, the stop loss levels, then obviously I'm not going to have a lot of stress. Why? Because I already know where I'm going to manage the trade. I'm not stuck in front of the screen on a small time frame, like on a 15-minute chart list. I'm not stuck here looking at every twist and turn, because I'm just going to be coming back into the market according to the hours. So from here onwards, from London all the way into, that's 12:45 my time, all the way into 4:15, I didn't have a trading hour. There was nothing on. So the only thing I could do is like take a break, okay, grab a cup of coffee, take a break, go for a walk, I don't know, whatever you want to do during the day, and wait for the next hours to come in. Okay. And did I have a trade management zone? Yeah, we had this level here as well, which I can now get rid of actually. And that's how it panned out. So, really reducing the anxiety and the stress can happen if I know things beforehand. It's like having a crystal ball, okay? And you're looking at it and thinking, you know what, these are the hours I'm going to look out for, these are the prices, and this is the day I'm focusing on. This will be okay for anything we're trading. And like I said, really recommend that weekly wrap video I put on yesterday. Really worthwhile watching. So knowing everything in advance is really helpful to kind of reducing all your cortisol levels. So no more stress, okay? This will also stop you from over trading, okay? This will stop you because if you have certain hours and prices you can trade at, okay, what's there to overtrade about? A lot of people overtrade because there's a lack of planning. Okay, so you don't really know what you're doing with it, and this is why you're overtrading, or you're going good in one direction, and you think the market's going to keep going to the moon. All right, when it won't go to the moon. But if you already have a heads up that Thursday's a swing day, and you've been long on this for the past 5, 6 days, I don't know, 7 days even, because it was the previous week, then you're thinking to yourself, okay, so Thursday I've got to watch out, I better take some profits, I better see when the trading hours are, let me check out the PST levels and so on. So that's already giving you, from last week, a target to get to, a time to trade at. And if you want to add positions, you can, because you've got a target and a swing day and a swing hour. So when you have all those things, you don't need to overtrade. You need to trade smart, because you can see the future now. You can see when the next swing day is, the hours are, the prices. Okay, so everything is right in front of you. So that will stop you from overtrading. You won't also get scared or greedy, because if you have an hour in front of you, if you know which hours are going to be important for you, why should you be scared? Why? Look, this is your trading hour. Your next hour is here. There's nothing to be afraid of. I'm not saying the market is always going in that kind of a direction, but if I have a price and a time, more often than not, that is how it will be, because we're matching not just hours. You could say, but what happened here? This is all sideways. Yeah, but it doesn't match a price. So the whole idea here is you want to match a price. If you want to sell, for example, look on Friday, where would you be selling? You'd be doing your technical analysis. This is where the market sold off on Thursday, right? On the retracement of New York. That was the high in the Asia session, okay? And that was New York session. Well, look, the market goes up into there, and we've got a trading hour 3 bars later, and all it does is just keep pushing down. And that's basically it. Our bias is to the downside. This is why you wouldn't buy here. Also, buying here was tricky, but it was a daily PST level. A daily, a weekly, a monthly, big fish eat little fish. So you wouldn't be really going against the bias. But you would be careful if it's a daily PST. Why? Because overall, you know the trend is going up, but you've got a swing day. You're better off reversing somewhere with minimal risk than trying to push higher up. So knowing these hours and the swing days and the prices in advance, for example, on Friday, you know exactly where you got to follow it to 3014. Why? Because the weekly is just pushing to that white line. It's just sniffing it out. And this is why the PST levels are just deadly accurate. You catch it on a daily, weekly, you know, you want to be careful. You want to enter or you want to exit if you're, going to that level. And that's exactly matching the trading hours as well. So anybody on a Friday who comes here, it's a weekly PST at trading hours, he's not going to muck around. He's going to say, well, I'm going to get out. I don't want to get greedy here. I want to get out and take my profit. So you can overcome your greed. You can overcome your fear if you have time and price ahead of you. Okay. The other thing is you don't overtrade like this, because you're just waiting for the time and price to match. There's nothing else to trade. You're not looking at every setup. The drama with just technical analysis is you're constantly looking for setups, where to get in, where to get out, what to do, how to do, and all that kind of stuff. And not one style of technical analysis will work all the time for you. So you're trying to make one style of technical analysis work in everyday trading, and it won't. This is why, like I explained before, we have a few methods that come together, and then we say, that is it. And then I've got a specific price on the PST. And then you match it to time and day. This is why you won't overtrade. You won't have stress and anxiety. Why? Because you've just gotten rid of all of the unknown variables of when the market can turn and at what price. That's like having tomorrow's newspaper in your hand today. All right, so all of the fast-paced nature of the market cannot overwhelm you if you trade with time and price, because you see things before they happen. You know about things before they happen. Right? I will leave a link in the description to the weekly wrap-up. Check it out, because on the weekly wrap-up, I look at all the swing days and the swing hours and how they are worked out for the week. Okay, it's actually good for us to see all that. And the more we look at it, the more we can understand it and so on. This is a very unique way of trading. You won't find it anywhere else. This is the only channel in the world that is giving a price, a day, and a time for market turns. Right? Hope that helps. I hope this is of interest to you. If you have any questions or queries, please put them in the comments. I like to answer these queries and questions because we're doing something really unique. And in fact, I have a fintech trying to now develop this into a whole software so we can actually look at hundreds and maybe thousands of assets in every market rather than just doing the 5 that I'm doing, because I'm doing it manually. So it's taken a bit of time, so I can't do more. But if we develop the software, build it up, we'll be able to look at whatever we want. We'll be able to get the swing days, hours, pricing for anything and everything that is on a platform. All right, but feel free to watch the videos, also the other videos as well that are on the channel. I've segregated them into playlists. So time and price trading, really something very original, very unique. Have a great Sunday.